Hi everybody. Today we're going to get into comparing decimals, but before we get into that, I just want to do a quick review. Sorry, my hair is sticking up a little bit. I just want to do a quick review, and our review is going to be on place value. Again, I know before we left on this break, we just got into decimals, so I just want to make sure that it's still fresh in your mind. So remember, we're used to seeing hundreds, tens, ones, sometimes it goes higher, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000, so on and so forth. We want to look at this as our whole numbers. Okay, then we're at our decimal, which we read as and then on this side, this is our fraction side. Tenths, hundredths. Okay, so if we had, let's say, 2 tens, 1 1, and 1/10, we would read this as 21. You read that as a whole number, 21 and 1/10. Okay, so again, 21 and 1/10. If we had this number here, we would have 21 and 13. It ends in our hundredths place, so we add that to the end. So 21 and 13 hundredths. (401) and 403. If you have any questions, remember there is that document within Classrooms that you can voice any concerns or any misconceptions or anything that you don't understand, and I will address it as soon as possible. All right, now we're going to get into how to read comparison symbols in a number sentence. We tend to use 3, less than, greater than, and equal to. So those are the 3 that we are going to be focusing on for today. All right, so we're going to start off with the less than symbol. So when it's in a number sentence, 4 is less than 8, and I just wrote it out in words so that you could see it. Greater than, the opening is to the left. How we read this is 8 is greater than 4, and again, I just wrote it out in words so that you could visually see it as well. And then our final sign is equal to. 8 is equal to 8. They have the same value. 8 is equal to 8, again in word form. And I know in second grade, third grade, sometimes you learn about it as the alligator, so the mouth will always open to the bigger number. But it is important that you know the meaning of these signs. So again, if the opening is to the right, that is less than. 4 is less than 8. If the opening is towards the left, that is greater than. So 8 is greater than 4. And if it is an equal sign, you read that as equal to. So 8 is equal to 8. All right, so again, if you have any questions, that doc is there. Make sure you write your name, the question, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. All right, so this is my place value map for comparing decimals. I'm going to go ahead and write out 2 numbers to compare. So I'm going to do 4/10, and I'm going to compare that with 1 and 4/10. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at my greatest place value. So here it is, my ones place value, and I see in my top number there's a 0 in the ones, and there's a 1 in the ones for my bottom number. Both of these numbers are different, so I am going to stop. I am not going to look any further. We know that 0 is less than 1, so I'm going to rewrite these numbers, and I'm going to write 0 and 4/10. And since 0 is less than 1, I'm going to put my less than sign. And then I am going to write my bottom number of 1 and 4/10. So now my number sentence reads 4/10 is less than 1 and 4/10. Alrighty, example number 2, I am going to write 14 and 83 hundredths, and I'm going to compare that to 14 and 9 tenths. So it is important not to just look at the length of the numbers, but focus on the place value. So I'm going to start with my largest place value, and in this case it is the tens place. So I see that my tens place, both numbers have a 1, so I'm going to put a check and go to the next place value. My ones both have a 4, so I'm going to put a check and go to my next place value. And in the tenths, there is an 8 and 9, which means they are different, so I am going to stop here. I am not going to look any further. So I'm going to compare those two numbers. I know that 8 is less than 9. So I'm going to go ahead and write out these numbers. My first number is 14 and 83 hundredths is less than 14 and 9 tenths. Again, that's because we compared that tenths place value here. All right, one more example. We have 0 and 10 hundredths compared to 0 and 100th, so we are going to compare our place values. In our ones, it's both zeros. Check. Next place value, tenths, we're at a 1 and a 0. They are different, so we are going to stop. We know that 1 is greater than 0, so therefore 10 hundredths is greater than 100th. You got it? Good. All right, my smart scholars, now it is your turn. I want you to try this example on your own. And in about 30 seconds, we'll come back and see if you got it correct. I want you guys to also read the numbers that I'm typing out and see if in the end you read them correctly as well. But I have faith in you. I'm pretty sure that you will do this correctly. And even if you don't, it's okay. Mistakes are a learning tool. And we're back. So 32 hundredths, did you read that right? Compared to 34 hundredths. Did you read that one right? If you did, give yourself a pat on the back. And if not, no big deal. Still give yourself a pat on the back for trying. You'll get it next time. So we're going to compare our place values. We see that our hundredths is different. 2 is less than 4. So we know that 32 hundredths is less than 34 hundredths. Did you get it? Last one. We have 2 and 2 tenths and 2 and 20 hundredths. Do not be fooled. This is a trick question. What do you think the answer is? If you don't know, I'm about to go over it, so no big deal. You got this. All right, so we're comparing our place values. Our ones are the same, check. Tenths are the same, check. Hundredths, oh, there's something missing, but if there's nothing there, we could use a placeholder of 0. So what do we discover? That it is the same. So check, and they are equal. Look at that.